It used to be that I wanted every game to be 40 hours long, but now that I'm older and have so many things vying for my time, I kinda prefer when a game is short and sweet. The challenge bite-sized games face is that they can't just be brief, but also need to be satisfying. They need to tell a story that'll stick with you longer than it took to beat the game. Sadly, this is the downfall of Leaving Lyndow, a brand new first-person adventure game that fails to leave much of a lasting impact. As the title suggests, this is about leaving home. You play a young woman named Clara, who's just moments away from starting her adult life. Her plan is to join a sailing expedition and research the world that lies beyond her little town. But before that happens, she'll need to pack her belongings and say goodbye to everybody she loves. Most of this game involves little more than talking to the townspeople and interacting with important items. She'll walk through a forest filled with childhood memories, play with her little cousin one last time, and learn more about the tragic events that changed this small coastal town forever. And after about 45 minutes, she'll gather up her suitcase and set sail towards a new life full of mystery and adventure. Much like Gone Home and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, this is more about the story than the gameplay. Sure, you can play the chimes and throw the ball around at the docks, but most of this game is spent learning about the city and Clara's family. We discover what happened to her father and why the town of Lyndow has come together to rebuild. We learn everybody's true feelings and what this expedition means to them. This is a game about tying up loose ends before Clara embarks on her journey. Well, not exactly action-packed, I think this is the perfect setup for telling a deeply emotional story about growing up and moving on to the next chapter of your life. This is something that should resonate for most of us, since we've all had to deal with this kind of thing in one form or another. But the story in Leaving Lyndow did very little for me. Everything is brushed by so quickly that it's hard to care about the people that she meets and the places that she goes. She may have a history in this town, but we certainly don't. This is a game that hints at deeper and more involving stories, but quickly brushes them aside so you can hunt down dolls in your uncle's garden. It would have been nice if there was some real drama and intrigue when you tied up all these loose ends, but pretty much every disagreement can be resolved after a few lines of dialogue. I was happy to see Clara move on with her life, but disappointed that I didn't get to feel like I was part of it. That doesn't help that the graphics are kinda ugly. I'm not a big fan of the character models and the way everybody in Lyndow animates. There's also a roughness to the backgrounds that I didn't like. The most interesting location is the forest, but even that has its share of problems. Of course, I likely wouldn't have even noticed the graphics if the story was more compelling and the world more interactive, but with only a few things to look at, it's hard not to notice the rough edges. The problem with Leaving Lyndow isn't that it's short, but rather that it doesn't have the emotional punch it needs to stick with you. The graphics are poor, the characters aren't all that interesting, and the world is never fleshed out as much as it should be, all of which undercuts any impact this game could have had. Leaving Lyndow is a short adventure that is ultimately not very satisfying. Hey, thanks for watching our review. So here's the question of the day. If you could go on a 3-year expedition anywhere in the world, where would you go? I suppose it doesn't have to be in the world. I'm sure there are a lot of people that want to go to Mars or some video game world, so let me know in the comments below. So this has been a busy week. I ended up reviewing a total of 7 games, including everything from Sunder to Avon Colony to Infinite Mini Golf. We're going to be back next week with a lot more reviews, but first I need to take a break. This weekend is about relaxation. If you want to make my weekend even better, then I suggest you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.